Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today. And today we're going to talking about my favorite stock of 2021. I think the stock is very undervalued with so much potential. I'm kind of excited about the stock, but let's get into it because I think the stock can actually 10x into the future. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about Malibu Boats. Yes, so we're going to be talking about Malibu Boats, a boating company, and I feel like a lot of people are not recognizing that this market is growing right now and is growing during this pandemic time. So this is providing a huge tailwind for this company right now. So I want to get into like the boating industry and everything I see for this company going into the future because I think this company has so much potential and it's just beginning right now. So let's get into it. So the global boating industry, the recreational boating market by revenue is expected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of over 11% during the period of 2019 to 2025. Europe and North America are expected to witness high demand for recreational boats during this forecast period as the commercial adoption of boats has increased in these regions. So as you can see, people are going more to this recreational kind of boating scene because people are doing that because the pandemic and everyone has to stay in and people are just don't want us to stay in. They're doing more activities, they're spending more time with their families. So this can actually become a long-term trend going into the future. We still don't know that for sure, but the boating industry is seeing these huge demands right now. So this is like a perfect opportunity, a perfect stock to kind of get into, and you can kind of ride this wave of this pandemic because they're already talking about a third wave and they're already talking about how a lot of people are actually like moving too. Like people from New York and all these places that are not good, they're moving away and they're going to Florida, they're going to Texas, they're going out to these huge boating areas, and people that want to spend time with their family, they're going to be buying boats. And you'd be surprised right now, but you would think it's a recession, but man, people are buying boats. Like the market is doing better than ever. So this company, this industry has so much potential to grow into the future and continue that growth. So I invested in this company back in around October, November of 2020. And I knew this company had huge potential because when I was looking at the numbers, they were just all so fantastic. And then plus, when you look at the landscape, I knew that this whole situation with the virus was actually going to make people become more like outdoorsy, more recreational buying and stuff like that. So I kind of looked into this market and I saw this company being at an attractive price and I felt like it was so undervalued. So when I saw this company, I knew I wanted to buy it and I put a position in. But then when I heard the investor presentation, it made me want to double down on this company, and that's what I did. So when we go over this presentation, it just made me like want to invest in the company more. And I did that because you can kind of his words, you can back it up with the data. Like that's why like the data matches what he's saying, which is very important. You just want to listen to someone because all the CEOs, all the executives are going to try to blurt out good things about the company, but are they backing that up with like actual data? Are they backing that up with like results? So let's get into this presentation and see what the CEO is saying about this company. Customer interest for new boats and demand for larger boats with upgraded features and options remain very strong. Our backlog of orders is historic for all of our brands. Based on available data, we expect a longer runway to normalize channel inventory and believe there will be for the calendar year 2022 before we see channel inventory equilibrium. We view this as a greater opportunity for a branch which sustains our growth and keep phase inventory very low, allowing dealers to have only the newest, most advanced models. Throughout this period of unprecedented demand, I'm proud to say we have been able to fulfill every drop of demand with market-leading products entering a long-lasting, sustainable, loyal customer base. We have not missed shipping one scheduled boat, a testament for our operational excellence and strategic vision. Specifically, by brand, Malibu has built and shipped 175 more units than planned this fiscal year and will be the most in Malibu's history. Our dealers will be getting more boats than what any of our competitors will be able to deliver. That is very key. It's going to outbattle all the competitors. All of the recently introduced model year 2021 products are flying off the shelves like a hamburger patty for a cheeseburger picnic. Like, what CEO says this? Like, this is how confident the CEO is right now with uh with the boats flying off the shelves, because you know the demand for recreational sporting events and sporting activities is all the all-time high. Our boats are resonating with experienced boaters while also attracting new customers into the last fall. So we just know, we can hear it in his voice, we can hear it in this presentation how confident he is. And this is expected to last at least until 2022, so 2 years. And then that's when it's gonna start to like kind of even out or still remain high, because the demand for boats is still gonna be there because people are gonna be enjoying what they've been doing. So this is such positive news. This is such a huge catalyst for this company that we want to hear. It was very easy to understand Malibu Boats. It's the leading in manufacturing, leading in designing of these high power recreational boats. So the meaning of the company is easy to understand, which is very good. We want to understand, is this company going to be obsolete in 5 to 10 years? When we answer that question, that's an obvious no. So we can rely that this industry is going to get bigger and this company is going to be here for the next 5 to 10 years. This company since 2010 had like a 23% market share, and now in 2019, 2021, it's at around 32%, 32.7%. So look how it's gaining market share and look how it's continuing to grow, being number one and leading in number one in the recreational powerboat segment. So this is how you can see the growth for this company is still growing too, because we understand like the boating industry is growing. Plus, if it's able to take market share from other competitors, that's just an add-on bonus. The main reason why I love this company so much is basically the moats. I feel like it has like a three-prong attack when it comes to the moat of the business. What separates it from the competition and what it can do in the future, because remember, this is going to be very important, so we know that this business is going to last into the future, the moats. So the first moat is that it's in like an oligopoly like industry, so it's only four key players that own the market, own 88% of the market, and Malibu Boats is the most dominant part of the industry. It's the number one market leader in that industry. So with that, it's able to share its economics, share cost savings with everyone, because it has Malibu Boats, it has Pursuit, Cobalt, it has Axis, four brands, and it just acquired a new business, Maverick, a new boating business. So with the leading position and then the economics of scale, it's able to share, integrate all those boats and then get crazy vertical integration cost savings in all those boats. So that's going to be a huge cost advantage, huge benefit for Malibu Boats. Then we have patents. It actually did a court ruling. People were trying to take its Surfgate, its technology, its patents that it has, and it actually won in court. So that's how you know this company has secrets that other businesses are trying to grasp, and is actually lending out those patents to other businesses because it sees that as an opportunity to let other people kind of like into the industry and grow the boating industry too. So the courts are ruling in favor of Malibu Boats with these patents, and every boating has to use the patent of Malibu Boats instead. And there's only like one other company that doesn't use the patents of Malibu Boats. So that's huge, right? Like you have to use the patents of Malibu Boats because that's how innovative the company is. So that's a second very strong moat. And then when it comes to the brand, we have the brand name of Malibu. It's the top premium brand. Malibu Boats, Axis, Cobalt, all those brands are premium. So the name of the boat, people are gonna kind of move to that boating just because the brand name of it. So it's like a three-prong attack right now. So you're gonna see how strong the moat is for this company. So that's what I really enjoy about this company, and that's how I can see this company becoming really, really dominant in the future. And people don't really look at like the boating industry when it takes players, when it takes market share. Like governments are not really worried about that. They kind of leave boating on the side. So that has a huge advantage of people not seeing how dominant this company can be into the future. We move on to the management side of the business. I think Jack has been an excellent CEO, and it can be backed up by the numbers of its return on equity and return on invested capital, all 15% and above, 20% and above from the last 5 years. Acquiring other boating businesses like Pursuit and Cobalt throughout like 2017 and up. It's acquiring these boats and still remaining really profitable, still making sure it's not using a lot of debt to acquire these companies. It's using like money generated, and it's still returning money on those businesses. So it's not just acquiring these low, bad businesses and having to keep up with the demand. It's actually acquiring premium brands with larger market shares. Let's see what he has to say about his selective acquisitions. When we identify potential acquisitions, we attempt to target companies with a leading market share, strong cash flows, and experienced management team workforce that is providing a fit with our existing operations. And that's what we want, guys. This guy is looking at the cash flows of the business, leading market share. So he's buying companies that are very dominant. The brand of the boating industry is dominant. So this guy has a good head on his shoulders, and he's a very good CEO so far, and he's been proving that with the results of Malibu Boats. And he talks like someone who wants to become the most dominant in the boating force. So let's hear what he has to say. Across our brands, we have continued to outperform our competitors and everyone's expectations. The last 3 quarters have been consistent with our very strong historical operational performance. There's an overriding factor that determines who wins, who gains market share, and who is the most successful. The companies that have produced the most boats will come up on top. We are producing at least 1/3 more boats than our closest competitor in the performance boat board segment. This is 1/3 more than shipped to the retail customer. And to build back on channel inventories quicker, we have over a decade. Malibu will win and will carry to the other brands. Guys, this is like confidence on a new level, like nothing like it. So that's how, like, this is making me confident in the company. And you like when you read 10Ks, when you read investor presentations, you don't hear talk like that. Like, you never hear talk like that. So it kind of makes you want to invest in the company, and he's backing that up with the numbers, with revenue growth, with net income growth. He's backing all those, everything up with the numbers. And the only reason why the revenue didn't drop 9% was because we already know about the virus and how it hurt a lot of businesses. And yeah, through like March, April, May, that time, like the businesses wasn't operating, so it's good to lose revenue during that times. And then on top of that, GM had a whole fiasco, and that's where they get their motors from. So that had a huge implication on their business. So this company can see strong growth into the future, and we'll see what happens. When you look at the numbers on this company, it's really good. The history of this company shows that Malibu Boats has been doing amazing. But even when you look at the history, that doesn't mean it's going to do amazing into the future. So we just use the history as like a kind of a guide, but that doesn't determine where the boating industry is going to go and if that's going to continue in the future. So we still got to be wary. But the past 5 years, 21% revenue growth, operating income growth 20%, free cash flow growth 36%. And then in the last 12 months, yes, the revenue declined, but I told you why it declined. But the book value is still growing at 31%, and it still generated free cash flow, which is very amazing, at 18%. So even after all that positive news I have about the company, we always got to come up with a bear case. We got to invert the problem and think of all the reasons why this company can actually not be good in the future and do very bad. And my number one reason is that it's in a very cyclical industry. When people don't have a lot of money to spend, they're not going to be buying boats. And that's when these companies like boats and cars, the industry, the economics of what's going on can really affect this business. But I'm not sure if I count this recession that we're in that kind of sphere, because right now people are moving to the more recreational type of activities just because of the lockdowns. So let's see when the time comes when there's no lockdowns and then we face a recession. So that's a very negative thing about this company, that it's very cyclical. It's going to be going through a lot of ups and downs. So that's one reason. The second reason, that this company has to keep innovating. It has to keep making new good products, new good boats. And if it doesn't, then people are not going to be buying these boats. So it has to keep reinventing itself, remaking itself, keep trying to prove to its customers that it's the number one product. And that can have like, what if one year or another, like in 2 years, that the Malibu boats, they're not as innovative. They don't do as good. Keep innovating their products, so that can really harm the company. So before you invest in it, I think those are like the two most important things you gotta think of. Maybe they even stop making good accusations. Like they actually find a company doesn't do good, and then what happens? It's gonna blow up into the company financials. They think they acquired a good business, but the business doesn't do good. It doesn't go off. So those are probably actually three reasons where I can see this company not getting good in the future. But if those reasons are gonna stop you from invest, then you got to think of that for yourself, because this is not financial advice. This is just what I think about this company and then where I think it can be. But there is a bare thesis that maybe this company doesn't do as good if these three problems arise in the future. So that's it for the video. Tell me, guys, if you like this video, can you please like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll get back to you in the next video. Peace.